Hey guys, this is GhostRobo, and we are back with part 3 of our Donkey Kong Country Returns walkthrough as we take on the first boss here. And something you'll notice is it's very reminiscent of Donkey Kong Country, the original's first boss, in that it's super simple, and all you have to do is jump on its back. But something that this boss will highlight for you is my kind of disappointment with the overall tone of the game. As I play more and more and see more and more levels and worlds, I'm kind of starting to get fed up with this whole Saturday morning cartoon cuteness that the game has been infused with, and I kind of wish it would go back to more of the calm mystique that I'd say that the first original Super Nintendo games had, where you had levels in complete darkness, or levels where the lighting was very low. You had swinging lamps, different things like that. They kept it kind of more, I don't know, adult, I guess. And this is kind of just mass chaos and insanity. And it's still fun. I'm still loving the game. It's still a very good time. It's just a bit disappointing in terms of I think I may like the originals more. But that's beside the point here. This guy has a ginormous tongue, and so all we have to do is fly over him and jump on his back. Diddy Kong makes the game 100 times easier. And I'm not sure how much they intended that to be the case, but really, like in past games, Diddy Kong just provided an extra life, or someone that you could throw. But here, with his hover, it makes a majority of the platforming segments a cinch, and really assists you in completing the levels. And I don't mean to sound too negative. I'm still super pleased that this game was made. I really enjoy it for the most part. 2D platformers a rarity these days, but a couple things that are just irking me are, again, that cartoony feel, and the lack of variety in the worlds. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's basically a texture swap, but I feel like there was more of a difference in the original Donkey Kong Country titles than there is in Returns here, as we pulverize the red version of this boss and now eliminate the Tiki. And I've switched actually from Nunchuck and Wiimote to just Wiimote sideways. It's a bit awkward in some of the ground pound segments because you have to shake the Wiimote up and down, and that's kind of not the most conducive, easy way to play a game like this, but it's a lot better than having to use the joystick. I just really don't like the analog stick to control Donkey Kong. I feel like I have more control over the jumps, especially midair, with the D-pad. So we're going to move on from the jungle as we conquer this very first world here in DKCR and move on to the beach. And again, as you'll notice, the first level on the beach is a lot different from the jungle. But eventually you're going to get to a cave world, ruins, forest, and they all kind of start blending together. But that's okay, because another thing that's blending together is the latter half of this year. I feel like the last 6 months have just flown by. Thanksgiving was this past weekend, and it's probably my second least favorite holiday. I got kind of on a negative kick here, I know, but hear me out. Halloween is definitely my least favorite holiday. I feel it's the most manufactured, the most old-fashioned, and the most out of date. I mean, how many of you actually are excited to go get candy and pass it out versus feel obligated that the calendar says Halloween and therefore you go buy some crap to pass out? But my gripe with Thanksgiving has nothing to do with the origins of the holiday, nor with the turkey, nor with any of that. It has to do with sort of the artificial nature that it has kind of created in people. I'm a very thankful person, and that's great. If you want to be thankful, awesome, and you probably should be thankful, but to be forced to be thankful or get really goofy about it and have a day where all you do is go around and writing lists of things you're thankful for, or going and that's the one day out of the year that you do something nice for somebody else, to me that's kind of more of a detriment than it is a positive. I would much rather see people just be nice all the time, and to feel forced or feel obligated to be a quote-unquote good person on Thanksgiving. Not really sure that jives with the way things should really work. But what does jive with how things should really work is these bonus level segments, which are a nice callback to the originals, where you have to either kill all the enemies, collect all the coins, or whatnot. I believe I'm not very successful with this first one because I wasn't 100% sure what I needed to do here, and I wasn't really sure how to kill these crabs necessarily. And what you have to do is shake the Wiimote, ground pound to knock them over, and then you can hit them. But apparently I didn't know that and thought I had to just keep hitting against these wooden pegs here. But yeah, Thanksgiving. I enjoyed my Thanksgiving. I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving. I'm just not a big fan when people get all sappy about it, and you can tell that they're just purposefully trying to be Thanksgiving thankful and not genuinely thankful. But regardless, like, these last 6 months have just flown by, and especially for video games, I have so many games to play, so many games that are left at the 50% mark or the 75% mark that I just have not gotten around to finish. And as we, like I said, prepare for my Game of the Year awards, I must really get cranking here and finish some of the contenders. But yeah, it just feels like all of a sudden it went from August to December, and here we are. I mean, today's November 29th, and we're 2 days away from the final month of the year, and wow, it just all of a sudden we're at 2011. And it just seems like, I feel like this happens every year. Like, the first 6 months are kind of slow, kind of average, and then that back half of the year just flies by. As this whale jumps out of the water, gives us a cool little background effect and shoots some crazy bananas out of his spout. I mean, you can still see there's still a lot of charm with Donkey Kong Country Returns, and I don't mean to sound down on the game, because I'm absolutely not. I mean, if I had to rate it, it's definitely one of, if not my favorite Wii game of the year, along with Kirby's Epic Yarn. But it just, I don't know, Donkey Kong Country was one of my favorite games of all time, and I don't feel like this 100% matches up with that game. And that's okay. I guess it doesn't have to. I just wish there was a little bit more atmosphere, especially with Retro Studios taking it over from Metroid Prime. I thought there might be, and there just really doesn't happen to be. It's got much more of a yay, whoopee, Saturday morning cartoon feel. Not feeling it. So while we're on this total, complete, 100% downer rant mode, I might as well get out of the way my Call of Duty Black Ops Theater mode upset, and the fact that that thing is not consistent at all. Half the time it records your game, half the time it doesn't record your game, and the other half, or other third, I guess, it records half of the game. I've had some awesome games that I would love to upload here, and I can't because theater mode saves them at the 5-minute mark or the 4-minute mark, or I miss my last 10 kills in a row. And it's like you get back-to-back chopper gunners, or a chopper gunner and a gunship, or, you know, 30-1 or 20-0 or whatever. You go to get your game and upload it to YouTube, and it's just not there. And it's like, why Call of Duty? I almost wish there was no theater mode, because then I'd record all my games constantly. With the theater mode, I expect that I'll be able to go back and get them, so I don't need to be wasting the storage space and recording every single Black Ops mode that I play. There you'll see that I had a quick jump, because I did die somehow in this upcoming section, so we skipped that for you. But yeah, Black Ops Theater mode, man, so much promise, and yet, what, we're almost a month into the game, and they still don't have it figured out, which leaves me not much hope for them getting it under control. I guess they could patch it later. There's an unfortunate barrel blast, and we get some sad music as we only collected 59 bananas and 2 coins. I don't know, that seems pretty good to me. Apparently not good enough for Captain Donkey Kong here. And I like the animals, I really do. Of everything in the game that's goofy and silly, the animals are probably my favorite part, just because I feel, I don't know, they don't really fit with Donkey Kong, but they're kind of endearing nonetheless. But it does seem like they kind of sacrifice some of the rideable animals for placing more animals in the world, because so far I've only seen Rambi, and I think I remember reading that they did take out Ungard the swordfish and some of the other crazy guys from the earlier games. And I know those sections kind of can get boring if overdone, but I really enjoyed them in the original Donkey Kong Countries. They're kind of memorable, and to only have Rambi here, kind of sad. Kind of makes me a little bit teary-eyed, along with the fact that there are hardly any barrel levels. I've played 4 worlds or 5 worlds now, and there are like no good barrel levels yet, and that's something that I was really, really excited for. So I guess it's more my own expectations and anticipation for the game that has docked my experience a few tiers down, as opposed to what Retro Studios has done here, because overall, like I said, really cool game. But as we get to the end of the level here in a bit shorter episode, I want to say thank you very much for watching, and please continue to check out my channel for other Donkey Kong Country Returns videos, and a lot more. We'll have the Game of the Year stuff coming up very soon, but until next time, we will see you later.